my dear grade 8 students. Now, we are on the third module, which is the factoring of polynomials. Let's start with factoring polynomials with a common factor. The distributive property is used to factor out the GCF of the terms in the polynomial and to write the polynomial in factored form. We have here some examples for you to further understand this topic.
This time, we will try to find for the factor of polynomials having a common factor. So we have here a given 12m to the 4th minus 8m squared. So as you can see, we can factor it out by finding the GCF or the greatest common factor. So I have written here the factors of 12m to the 4th power and the factors of 8m squared. So based on what is written on the board, all we have to do is to get the common factor. So we have here 4, that's their common factor. We also have m and another m and no more. Therefore, this is the GCF. 4 m times m is, go back to the law of exponent, multiplying the same bases. What are we going to do with the exponent? We have to add. So 1 plus 1 and that is 2. This is their common factor. So we will be using it in factoring the given here. Now let's factor this given using this GCF that we have found or we have solved a while ago. All we have to do is divide this binomial by 4m squared. So we will be writing this outside the parentheses. So what is 12 divided by 4? That's 3, right? And then we'll divide m to the 4th power divided by m squared. It is the inverse of the power of a product. So meaning to say, if we are dividing common bases, what we need to do with the exponent is subtract. So we have here m, 4 minus 2 is 2. And then copy the operation or the sign inside. And now let's have the second term. 8 divided by 4 is 2. M squared divided by m squared is, you're correct, that is 1. So therefore, we will not be writing it anymore. So just write the close parenthesis. So that's it. To verify our answer, let's try to solve it using the distributive property. So we will just be distributing this one to each of the terms inside the parentheses. So 4 times 3, that's 12, m squared times m squared, that is m to the 4th power. Then 4m squared multiplied to negative 2, that is 4 times 2 is 8m squared. So it's just the same. But this is now the final answer.
Now, let's have factoring perfect square trinomials. I'll be showing you the procedure and how to perform it.
If we go back to the lessons that we have discussed during the special product, we have encountered the square of a binomial. So this time, it's the counterpart or just the reverse. So for us to get the factor of this given, first we will just get the square root of the first term and also the square root of the last term. So what's the square root of m squared? That's correct, it's m. How about the square root of 81? That is 9. And since the sign here is positive, we will write positive here. And then we have to write square. So that's the factor. If you want to double check it, you can use the FOIL method or the square of a binomial. Now let's have the second example. We have here w to the 4th power minus 24w squared plus 144. If you notice, w to the 4th power and the last term, which is 144, are both perfect squares. So what do you think is the square root of w to the 4th power? What are the two variables with the corresponding exponent that when you multiply it to itself, the result will be w to the fourth power. That is w squared, right? And what's the square root of 144? That is 12. But you notice the sign here is minus. So we will be writing minus here and then square. So this is now the factor of this perfect square trinomial.
And that's it, my grade 8 students. I hope that you've learned a lot from this lesson.